gets iceboxed or we try and push it in.
I think that's part of the problem, is that like who gets to decide, right? I mean, it's kind of like, you know, I think like what the dev team can commit to is that this sprint we will commit to getting this into the sprint, right? And like what event happens for Giveth as a whole outside of that, like it's difficult for the dev team to be somehow responsible for that at the same time or something. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't know, like it feels like there needs to be a boundary there. Otherwise, like if there's no boundary, then like we're kind of like holding all of this stuff, you know? So yeah, I think we can definitely decide what goes into a sprint or not. Like that's for sure, because we know it's possible, right? I mean, what can be done or something. And I hope now that we are actually live, this will just be a non-issue going forward, basically. Because I think it's just been about like trying to get live as fast as possible, trying to, before the bull market's over, before, you know, this round of GitHub or Gitcoin is over, or, you know, all this other stuff, basically. So yeah. Other than that, I don't know, like really, that's super cool, the segment stuff. Thank you for that. That was fun working with you on Saturday, and happy birthday for Friday.
Thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. So stoked that we have segments set up there, like really solid foundation. Now all these events that we're tracking, we can send them to Amplitude, Autopilot, and Slack, and then any of these other tools that we want to turn on. I know I don't want to rush and turn on these tools, but now that we have the foundation of Segment in place, all of us cool non-dev muggles can go into Segment and check out all these different tools. There's things like A/B testing and feature flagging and help desk stuff, all these things that could be useful as we grow. And now all we have to do is just flip them on and paste an API key in. We can start sending data from Segment to all these different tools. So yeah, it's a really powerful tool that we have in place now.
So is everything done now? Like that's what I understood. Everything's finished, right? I didn't really test it all, but all of the emails are in place. Everything's ready.
So let's talk about it. So the emails are in place for a project created. I was playing around with it last night, and I did a donation, and the Segment event tracked it, but I didn't get an email for it because there's no email associated with the account I guess I was testing with. I just had a MetaMask login. So I wanted to ask, at what point are we actually collecting the user's email address?
I think that's what Matteo was alluding to, right? Like if they sign up with Taurus, we get it, and with MetaMask, we don't get it until they try to create a project. Matteo?
Taurus has it instantly. It gets the email that is linked to whatever social media is being used to log in. As a project creator, so far we are asking them to update their name and last name, but nothing is being required to grab the email. So I was thinking that we should tell the user, hey, you want to get notifications over your stuff, set up an email, but that should be optional, or we could do it as a requirement for project owners, making an obligation for project owners before creating a project. But for the donor, I think that should be optional.
I agree with that. I mean, it could be some kind of obstacle, right, for someone donating. Like, but for project owners, definitely, right? I mean, we're giving them something for free, and they want it anyway. So as it works now is okay then, right? Like it's when they try to create a project, they're not allowed to create a project until they update their profile, and then it includes an email, and then we got it, right?
We didn't include an email yet, though. So, Matteo, are we talking about adding the email field to that profile?
Yeah, we have to do it. It's not done yet, but
it is there. It is on staging. I need to test it. I didn't really finish it, but it is on staging, like that you can enter an email. I don't know if we're validating and making sure that they definitely add an email yet. So there could be some cases where they don't add anything and we don't validate the field properly. So that's the only thing that's left. Remember we spoke about that, Matteo, like what's going on with the React hook thing there. Like that front end part could still be done maybe, I think, but it should be working, and we definitely can send an email right through. Yeah.
And I think that's right. I think once that's live, which it sounds like it is, collecting the email in the profile, then we are set to go for sending these emails out, including like all the properties that we're tracking in the Segment events. We can include as fields in the email, so we can like link them to their project and show them their project name and if you do a donation, we can show the amount and the currency donated and stuff in the email and link to the transaction ID even. We can do some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, that's all rocking. I would like to, outside of this is the dev call, but I would like to bring up the communications team, whoever's interested in making these emails awesome. We'd love to do a quick tutorial at some point with the communications team. I see Lauren nodding her head. Very cool.
That's great. So I wonder what happens if if a donor signs up with MetaMask and they make a donation and it tries to send them an email, but there's no email address for them. Like, is that what will happen?
So,
I guess it'll just fail gracefully, right?
It'll fail gracefully. It'll track the event. The event will go to Amplitude and stuff, and then the user, yeah, in order to get created in Autopilot, you need an email address, basically.
Yep.
And Autopilot's pretty cool too. One cool thing about Autopilot is that once you do get created with an email, it's also like another kind of analytics tool where you can basically see a stream of like all the users' activity and every action they've done through Segment, every email they received, if they open the email, if they click the link on the email, all that gets tracked in Autopilot as well.
Super cool. One thing I wanted to talk about was testing and trying to not formalize it, but more like document how we should test, for example. Like, I think we have all different kinds of flows. For example, like, sign up with Taurus, create a project, sign up with MetaMask, create a project, try to donate from an account that already exists, create a new account, try and donate, I think like we should begin to build out like at least some kind of basic test script to make sure that we get proper coverage when we do a deployment and we do testing. I think up until this point, it's been pretty ad hoc, right? Like everyone is just kind of doing whatever they want. And yeah, I think like we are probably missing bugs. I think so. I think I found a couple when I did some testing. But that's me testing as a developer. And I think like user testing is like way more useful because developers like tend to fall into traps because they know the code or whatever like this. But anyway, we should probably just begin to like write down like what does a minimum test look like, right? And like maybe one person takes this kind of test, another person takes that kind of test, and we can make sure we cover our bases basically. So that's something I will start this week. I'll create an issue for this and just start documenting some ideas. Is there anybody who wants to take responsibility for this with me, like from the Costa Rica team side or the communication team side or the non-dev side?
I can do it. Yeah.
Cool. Nice one, Lauren. So we can talk about that. Otherwise, I don't have much else I want to talk about. Anyone else want to talk about anything? So, last chance. If not, Danny?
I put in an issue because our main Giveth campaign on Giveth.io has some outdated information in it. I think Willie might have created that. I'm not sure who did it. I'm happy to draft text if I need to do that. But so far, I just put in an issue that says we need to update that.
Did you say our Gitcoin grant, Danny?
Oh, well, I updated the Gitcoin grant. I had the ability to do it, so I just went in and did it when I made phase one. But no, the one on Giveth.io, our first campaign, it references v2.giveth.io. We made it a long time ago, so it needs to be made modern.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that one that is just kind of hard-coded into the DB? I don't know if any user has the ability to edit that, but I think the developers would know. The dev team would know.
Yeah.
So what was that, sorry?
The Giveth project on Giveth.io. The Giveth.
Yes, that is in the database. Yes, it's in the database. Yeah, it's in the database. So if we go to edit project, we should be able to edit it. It's just a question of who's the owner, I guess. So I can find out and let you know. Or if there's a change you need to make, then let me know. Did you say?
There is a GitHub issue for it. I just didn't know who to assign it to because it wasn't readily apparent to me who that was. But I can go in and edit the text and put it into the GitHub issue at a minimum so that whoever is going to do it can do it. I'd like to know who to assign it to.
All right. I mean, if you've added it, then you can assign it to me. And I'll look after it.
And then I also my donation, because somebody on Twitter asked if they could donate on XDAI. So I went and tested it real quick, and it was super easy. That was awesome. So I was able to say, yes, you can. So yay.
Cool. Nice. All right. We could do some sprint planning for the next sprint. So essentially, the proposal is to start the next sprint on Wednesday. And I can share my screen. Cool. So we have the backlog here in the middle, and we have the sprint here. So if we go to sprints, there's a sprint from the 17th for 2 weeks till the 26th of March. So starting Wednesday until the 2 weeks afterwards. And then the other one's there. And this is kind of cool because apparently, like, if we don't complete something, it will automatically be moved to the next sprint by ZenHub, which is pretty awesome. So for sprint planning, like, we should essentially, I mean, the dev team, which is me and Matteo, I guess, should really sit around a table, a virtual table, and figure out like what we're going to commit to the sprint. And that's usually done like based on story points. So if you look on the side here, we have this estimate thing here, and everything needs to be estimated in order to be able to have any idea what we can do in 2 weeks, basically. So Matteo can replicate this one. I know I feel like it's not clear what the issue is exactly, so I'd give it a 2, but otherwise it's probably a 1, you know, like a very small change. Like there is some guidelines like here under issues. At the top of issues here, there is this ZenHub and a guide to issue estimation pinned to the top. And that's something I just started. Like, I mean, Matteo or anyone, like, this is something that I think we should build out ourselves as a guideline of like, how do we begin to estimate? So it's based on the principle that humans are not very good at estimating how long something will take, but we're very good at estimating things relative to other things. So a 1 is a very small change. It represents removing a text link in this case, right? Or a 2 is a small CSS change. And so like we can estimate like in comparison to that, that's kind of the aim. And so that's how these estimates here should be used really. And if we manage to actually use this and put a 2 in there, for example, and all this kind of stuff, you sort projects by number of hearts. I would say that's, I don't know, like a 3 or a 5, maybe. Let's say 5. And so these will like begin to like add up. And yeah, I mean, essentially, like as the sprints go by, like we will get a better idea of like as a team, how many story points are we able to complete in a 2 weeks sprint essentially. So over time, we should become better at estimating what we can and cannot do in the sprint. So I don't know. I don't know if it's something we want to do now. Like maybe it's something for like maybe me, Marco, Matteo, Kai, or someone who's interested to do now. I mean, like a lot of us on this call, and maybe it's not the most appropriate time. But that's something that we should do before Wednesday, essentially. So bigger picture, like it would be great to have confidence that staging is in good shape. And after this, like, you know, go live as soon as possible, basically. I think next week is the week, if all goes well. I mean, we could find small bugs or something that need to be fixed quickly, but otherwise, like, I think we can really start putting some fuel on the fire. Or what do you think?
Sounds good.
Yep. Mm. Now. No. Yeah. No, I feel like if we're going to test staging now, and I think we should test staging now, and now is the time to get it in. And like I would love, like between now and the start of the next sprint, for us to use this time to clean up the code, to like really set up the error reporting, like all of this kind of stuff, like not develop any more shit, just like fix urgent things, like get the code better, healthier, get rid of the warnings, all that crap, basically. So I think it's a perfect time. Matteo, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's what we should be doing. There is one minor bug that Mitch found this morning. And it's the donation is not being saved. I leave the comment. You can check it out because I think it's I don't know, it's weird. Maybe you know what could be. But that I think is the most urgent so far because the donation is not being saved.
Yeah, that's pretty urgent. Okay. Sorry, who did you say reported it? I can't find it right now.
I did.
Is number 518.
518.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
All
yeah,
right,
we'd
so
love
that's
to solve it right now. But just wanted to
I
comment.
mean, definitely something we should put critical for launch label on. Yeah.
Yeah.
518.
I was having a hard time finding test tokens on Ropsten. Like I could only get DAI on there, so like I tested it with that, but like all the other faucets, like I can't get the right tokens to test them.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
why I
swap-
created the AI. Sorry. Go ahead,
No,
Laura.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Lauren.
No, I asked about this as well. You can actually like swap them, and Matteo created the Yay token, which he has billions of, so he can send you them.
Where do you swap them?
I think on Uniswap. There's like a Uniswap Ropsten.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's easy.
Yeah, it's not 518. I'm looking for it also. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. I'm happy to take it on. The only question, like Matteo, is there anything like that you need to work on, or you want to work on, or you are working on right now?
No, I was checking it only. I wanted your opinion because I'm not sure what could that be. I've never seen that error, and
But
it's coming from the backend.
let's figure it out. Let's figure it out later. Anyway, we can. Because I'm just thinking because the update profile thing, maybe that I need to do that also. Anyway, we can figure it out after this call. But I'll take that, Kai. Thanks. Thank you for that. I'm sure that was hard work. Cool. Thanks. Any other business? Are we that damn amazing and efficient and awesome?
You are, for sure. The It's the plan. I mean, I might have missed this, but it's the plan to do one more sprint before the big launch.
I mean, my feeling is like we fix any critical bugs because hopefully there's very few, and like I mean, finding like big problems. Like I think like we go live tomorrow and like big launch this week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe. Not up to us. We will aim to deliver our live on Monday, and you guys figure it out basically.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great plan. Cool. Hopefully this is the week. Yeah.
Forest, Magenta, and the comms team will decide when it goes live, right?
Perfect. Cool.
Nice. Alrighty. I can find my mom. Talk to you guys later then, huh?
Yeah, I think we can break early.
Ciao. Thank you. Bye.
Ciao. See you guys soon.
See you guys
See
soon.
you.